Hi guys, this is Dr. Priyanka Mehta, obstetrician, gynecologist, women's health expert from Diva Women's Center, Chennai. So, the previous video we were talking about the different kind of vaginal discharge and how if there is itching, if there is a lot of greenish color discharge, or there is a foul odor or a fishy kind of a smell, or if it is blood stain, then you need to evaluate or find out what is the reason for this discharge. And of course, some amount of white discharge is normal. So if it is just happening occasionally, it is just very clear or transparent or just whitish in color, and it is not disturbing you too much, then you don't have to actually worry about it. But how do we prevent the vaginal infections, or how do you keep the vagina clean? So do understand that our body is amazing, and the vagina per se doesn't, it's a naturally cleansing organ. You don't need to scrub it or clean it so well and squeaky clean that in fact sometimes when you are washing with soap too many times, we actually remove all the good bacteria which are present in the vagina. So there are certain lactobacilli, there are certain dordaline bacteria, we will call them. So these are the good bacteria which protect the vagina from the outside infections, and they maintain the pH, as we call it, of the vagina to a little acidic. But when we use, sometimes even using all these intimate washes, or maybe if you're using a menstrual cup sometimes, or a tampon sometimes and you have not changed it, or sometimes just because of overwashing also, what can happen is that the normal bacteria which are present in the vagina are just removed, and they are replaced by these discharge causing bacteria, and that causes a problem called bacterial vaginosis, and you will always have this constant watery discharge and very irritant discharge happening. So how do you prevent all of these problems? The first and foremost, but very simple thing is the how do you maintain the hygiene? How do you take care of the undergarments that you're wearing? So my advice usually is that avoid wearing very dark colored undergarments, because sometimes they have a lot of these dyes which are used, and that could be a chemical irritant which can cause this chronic kind of a discharge. Then make sure that you are washing your undergarments daily. Dry them in the sun. If you do not have enough sunlight where you are, at least ensure that they are totally dry. You can even iron them out so that they are not moist at all. Because if you wear a moist undergarment, that is a very common cause why many women develop a lot of fungal infections, because anywhere there is moisture, there is bound to be some kind of an infection developing. So ensure that your undergarments are washed daily. Don't pile them up together and wash it at one day. So wash them daily, dry them in the sun, or dry them with an iron, however you want to do it. Should not be moist at all. Also try to wear cotton undergarments, especially if you're living in a place where the humidity is very high, it's a tropical climate. You do need to understand that we tend to sweat more, and so you should be making sure that the undergarments are not having any fancy material, because if it's a nylon or a non-absorbent kind of a material, then you will sweat more, and all of that sweat and moisture again will promote the fungal or the mold infection. So it is so important that you're preventing any kind of a fungal or a yeast infection by wearing absolutely cotton undergarments. One more thing is that we change them frequently. So every 3 months or 4 months, you can get a new set of undergarments and discard the old ones, so that if there is any residue or any kind of an infection, you are not using them again repeatedly. Even in a day, you can wash your undergarments, like you can change them 2 times, say in the evening, and at night when you're sleeping, you can just sleep without the undergarments, because the vagina needs some kind of an air, some kind of air circulation. So you need to make sure that, because nowadays we're wearing a lot of these very tight undergarments, tights, the leggings and the jeans and the pants that you're wearing are so tight sometimes that there is no air going inside at all, and that, even though it may sound like a very a simple reason, but that also can lead on to different kind of infections. So make sure that you do take care of your body parts, especially the vagina, and you are not using a very harsh soap or too much of these shower gels or very much perfume soaps, because all of these tend to again change the pH of the vagina, and a very simple self-cleansing organ, when you're using these soaps too many times, or you're repeatedly washing with these medicated perfumed soaps and bath oils, and also that actually can cause to you to develop this chronic kind of a discharge and chemical irritation, and then it goes on to pelvic infection. So very simple tips. Do take care, and have a safe day.